Alexander Hagos, a 10-year-old boy, and his family are just one of over 1 million people forcibly displaced from western Tigray, where Amhara regional forces have launched an ethnic cleansing campaign to rid western Tigray of its Tigrayan population. But more horror would follow once him and his family made the difficult journey to northwestern Tigray. Abraha Gabretnsa'e has more.
Alexander Hagos was born and raised in Humora, Western Tigray. Alexander and his family are just one of over 1 million people forcibly displaced from Western Tigray, where Amhara regional forces have launched an ethnic cleansing campaign to rid Western Tigray of its Tigrayan population. Alexander's mother and his two sisters would seek shelter in Dedebit, northwestern Tigray, leaving behind Alexander's father and brother, both held captive by Amhara forces in Humora. But on January 7, 2022, the Ethiopian government would launch one of its deadliest attacks on civilians, targeting the IDP camp where Alexander and his family were sheltered. His mother and sisters would die immediately, leaving 10-year-old Alexander without a guardian.
We were not welcomed with food and drinks. No, death and horror followed us here to the Debit. A drone attack at midnight killed my mother and two sisters. My mother was named Takin. My sisters were named Tsago and Fiori. They were all killed in the attack on the IDP camp. They had all been sleeping.
Alexander says his father and brother had been detained by Amhara forces when he left Humora, but he says he fears the worst, as Amhara forces are known to torture and kill detainees.
They would arrest my father every so often. One day, they assaulted him using stones and sticks. They had found him collecting wood. Another day, they came to the house with sticks and machetes to intimidate my brother, who was asleep at the time, and my father. They took them to the Kabale that day, and they have been detained ever since.
Alexander is now one of thousands of children left without a guardian. The blockade on humanitarian assistance has meant that those sheltered at the camp are not able to receive adequate humanitarian assistance, and the communications blackout has meant that there is no way for families to find one another.
I'm alone now. I have no one to take care of me. I don't have my family around. My father and brother are detained in Humera. My mother and my two sisters have been killed in the drone attack in the Debit. I beg anyone that can help me to please try.
The government of Tigray estimates that there are over 6 million people in dire need of humanitarian assistance, as close to 1 million people are in famine-like conditions. Children, pregnant and lactating women, and elderly compose a majority of internally displaced persons, which not only require humanitarian assistance but also medical treatment.